The proposed budget for 2026 is working its way through council, and the Ball Arena development is moving forward. Here's what happened this week on The Gavel, your weekly Denver City Council wrap-up. On Monday, the council heard the public's thoughts on Mayor Johnston's 2026 proposed budget. Council members heard many concerns, including the lack of family shelters, youth support services, and infrastructure support.
For every family denied shelter, more children end up in foster care through no fault of their own. Lives are ruined, trust is lost, and our community suffers.
Please, we suggest you continue to fund the Office of Children's Affairs and programs like Art Lab. These are opportunities that allow us to express ourselves, that allow us to build a better future for our community and possibly our world.
Council members also asked questions to city officials on how layoffs were determined and what could happen if any amendments are passed. Next week, council members will propose amendments to the proposed budget, and the full body will vote on each one. The mayor can veto any amendments, but those vetoes can be overridden by a vote of 9 council members. On November 10th, the council will vote to override any vetoes and to accept or reject the proposed budget. Denver residents could be getting more housing support. On Tuesday, the Community Planning Committee sent to the full council a series of 8 housing stability contracts. They'll support family services and provide eviction legal assistance. Family intake services provide immediate and low-barrier access to shelter where they can get access to more housing resources. The family shelter waitlist has increased 100% in the last year, and on October 1st, there were 240 families on the waitlist with only 10 bed openings.
This is despite the fact that we've made consistent investments in the family shelter system since 2002, almost double the number of beds. We had 194 in 2022 and currently have 303 non-congregate shelter beds for families experiencing homelessness. And despite these efforts, we still see an increase in family homelessness.
If the contracts are approved, the city will have 5 family shelters in the city. Also sent to council were a series of contracts for eviction legal assistance totaling $1.1 million. Evictions have increased significantly from pre-pandemic levels, with almost 16,000 in 2024. The money would support families in the eviction process and could help prevent them from leaving their homes. Last year, 50% of families had an eviction judgment prevented. The city hopes to reduce the number of evictions by working more closely with the Department of Housing Stability and expanding when someone can apply for rental assistance. One area around Ball Arena could be moving from a parking lot to affordable housing. On Wednesday, the Transportation Committee sent to the full council a series of development agreements to support the houses. Amended were requirements for the park space where Elitch Gardens currently is, and a cap of 300 affordable housing units in each of the 2 housing towers on site. Developers will have to pay a linkage fee, which is a set of funds the city uses to support affordable housing. 80% would go to the city for that use, and the other 20% saved in an escrow fund to support transportation and parks districts. The city will also create a special revenue fund to keep track of the transactions for this development. Committee heard about cameras and privacy in the city. On Wednesday, members of the Health and Safety Committee heard an update from the Surveillance Task Force, which looks at Denver's current surveillance technology and proposes new rules. It's comprised of community members, council members, city agencies, and other experts. The briefing focused on the use of flock cameras throughout the city. Council members expressed numerous concerns with the current policies and contracts. The mayor renewed a contract with the vendor through early 2026.
Task force has never been shown the new contract extension that's proposed, or even asked to weigh in on those potential terms. The task force was never even told about those potential terms, so task force members would have heard about it now from the media, but it was not presented to the task force.
This is a technology that closes that gap and enhances community safety. And I am fully supportive of that, and I am fully supportive of the police department using that, and so are most of my residents.
Denver police cited success with the cameras that track details of cars and people moving throughout the city. The number of homicides that were solved since the cameras came online went from 79% to 87%. The contract says only Denver officials would have access to the data. You can find links to City Council meetings, schedules, agendas, events, and news at denvergov.org/citycouncil. Denver City Council meets every Monday at 3:30 at the City and County Building Council Chambers, or tune in live on Denver 8 or Zoom. Be sure to follow us on X, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram for Denver news, events, and information.